Right, it's Andrew and RC, as you probably already guessed, and it is Tuesday bench time. You'll be watching this on Wednesday, so happy Wednesday. Hope Wednesday's proved to be okay. We're all still here, and actually I think tomorrow is President Biden's inauguration. That's gives you some timestamp on all of this. Look, here we go. So what have I been doing? What's on the bench today? Well, this is the guts of the B16, the wpl-rc. My electronics, I've got a problem with this word, electronics package arrived from WPL themselves at the weekend, so I have last night I spent plugging it all in to make sure it all works. It is the version 3, as you can tell by the handset. I think that's pretty distinctive with the green flash on it. This is the version 3, the latest version of their all-in-one electronics package, and that's pretty much the heart of it there. The old the little print circuit board, that's about the heart of the system here. This is a combined ESC receiver sound card. It's an amazing bit of kit here. It looks a bit fragile and a bit, but you know, if you mount it carefully, good stuff. I've conformal coated this as well, so it should be waterproof. It looked like it was already coated on the top, but it didn't look like it was coated on the back, so I've given it another coating all over just to be doubly sure. It comes with its own instructions, which is pretty cool. It works. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. You know, it is relatively foolproof. The only bit this fool got wrong, or was going to get wrong, I should say, was the connecting to these three. This is a kind of square, 3-prong square here, made up of 3 servo plugs. I wasn't sure whether the plugs went in, shall we say, vertically, skinny side up, or whether they went in horizontally with the big side up. They actually go in horizontally with the flat side up. Okay, they're going like this. Yeah. So you get 3 of them stacked up. I watched Edward RC. He's one of the WPL guys. I watched his video on this, which is very good. I'll put a link somewhere on screen and in the description so you can check it out yourselves. Just watch it before you start plugging all this in, and certainly before you put the battery on. It's just, you know, there might be something you've missed and you don't want to fry anything. So yeah, but it works. It's all cool. The winch doesn't work. I did order a winch. Here it is, and I couldn't last night. I couldn't get this to turn over. So maybe my soldering is a little bit wonky. Or maybe the motor's dead. I've got a spare winch off the C44, so I might try that motor and see if that motor works as well, or works in place of this one. Who knows? It's not the end of the world if it doesn't work at all, frankly. If that's the height of the problems, I will be happy with that. But yeah, it's a nice little bit of kit. The good news is it should fit in the usual WPL space. I should hope it'll fit under this box like that. That'll bolt down on top of the servo, because this is where the bonnet goes and this is the battery tray. So I don't really want the electronics in there, because then the battery's got to live somewhere else. So that's the beauty of this. You know, you couldn't get a Hobbywing 1040 or 1060 in there, or even a 1080. Not with the great big battery wires and stuff. You couldn't manage it. So the good stuff with all this is it's cheap and it works and it's small and, you know, beautiful. So I'm a convert. WPL Electric so far, awesome stuff. So 2-speed gearbox as well with a 370 motor. All WPL official stuff off their official store, I should add. I think when you buy from Banggood, sometimes you never quite know if you're getting the real thing or you're getting a copy. This is the official real stuff. So this is a good stuff. Well, I've got an C44, so I know this is tried and tested. Despite it being plastic geared, I'm pretty sure it's going to be strong enough. You do have to solder on the what are these resistors? These little look like little skin tags, don't they? These little things here. You have to solder them on, and Edward talks about that in the video, just to stop interference apparently with the sound card. I think with the sound system. The sound speaker, the little speaker is not too shabby. It'll do for this size of kit. And on the transmitter, you have got a cycle of 3 volumes or off, so you get 4 volumes if you want to be picky, which is quite nice as well. So you don't have to have the sound on if you don't want it. Right, so that's the chassis. Nothing else has changed aside from I've had the gearbox in and out to make sure it fits. Now, let me get rid of this and show you the tank, because that's where the real work has been done. Right, so here is the tank so far. This is what it's meant to look like. Where are you? There you go. So this is my 35th scale ARV Modelers Club M49A2 fuel tanker, which is pretty much what this truck is. Pretty much. And it's a different, slightly different version because the wheels are different. It's got double bogies on and so on. But I think the gist of it is fair to continue with. There's the tank at the back. It doesn't just sit on its own, bold as brass on the back. It's kind of within a frame, within a bed. It's got a fuel hose on the side, and it's got, you know, tap and other noticeable thing. It's got a canvas roof. A lot of these, I think, had a canvas roof on there, and you'll note the exhaust stack coming out the side there, not out the back. So this has got quite a long way to go to make it into what you've just seen. So what I've done, I've taken the basic WPL tank, which is the bit in grey here. I've surrounded it with a styrene frame, a styrene bed. I know it's not going to be 100%. I'm not trying to make a dead ringer here. I'm going for reminiscent. That's where I'm going with this. If I can make it reminiscent of the real thing, I've won. That's a result for me. So I've built a styrene frame around the fuel tank, which is quite a lot of parts involved in this. It's got some bracing in it, and mounted onto the grey tank and the tank frame. It's got a section at the front here which is extended to, I've cut down the tyre, spare tyre unit that would sit behind the cab, so you can see a little bit of that. If I tilt the whole thing up without it falling off, so you can see the box here. It's in there somewhere. It's just cut down, squashed in, but it is in there. So I've got this extension part here. Now it runs up almost to the back of the cab where the exhaust sits. So as I say, I'm probably going to end up taking these exhausts off, mounting one of them up on the side here, and then I'm going to cut the roof off and try and make a canvas roof. That will be quite a lot of fun, won't it? Not. The tank itself, I've added some spoolers on there, and I've got some hose just here, which is an old which is one of my cheap airbrush hoses. It's just vinyl, it's plastic, it's got nice mounting, you know, nozzle bits on the end. So there's the nozzle that comes out of the tank, so it's going to go on there, and then it's just going to get wrapped around, you know, in a very scale fashion. Obviously, it will get wound around these, you know, in that kind of a fashion. That's kind of going to be the sort of gist of it, something along those lines. Yeah. Now, a little bit of fun for you guys. If anyone can guess what these three things actually are, which parts are they from my spares box? If anybody cares to hazard a guess and put that in the comment section below, that would be grand. But there's these are parts from another kit that I've got, another rig that I've got, and obviously I haven't used. And so that's where I've got a little nozzle to put on the end of the pipe to go into this little section here, which is where the nozzle would sit when it's not in use. I'm going to rack this out with some scale, he says, somewhere. Oh, you know, when you've got so many things, like the hobby runs out of control, doesn't it? And you've got so many parts, you don't know where they all are. Anyway, I also got the little WPL accessory set with some ladders and hand tools and stuff. So I'm going to basically pack out, as I suspect the guys would just chuck stuff in into these gaps on either side when they were done with whatever they were doing and moving to the next job. So I want to have some tools and stuff stashed in here to help cover up what's gone on. So let me take this. Oh, one casualty. I have lost the end of this runner here. There's one on this side, but there isn't here. It's snapped off with all the handling. You know, casualty of war, eh? So let me just take this off. So you can see this comes off. There's the cut down spare tire rack. So it's cut down to fit. Let me just make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Right. So there you go. So yeah, you can see there. There's the. This is the spare wheel thing. that goes behind the cab. So that now fits in there. And it kind of fits around the tank. So I'm going to cut this section of it out here. So it fits around the tank, and I've had to cut a chunk out of the tank. There you go. Here where my finger is, to accommodate the edge of the square box that you've got there. So the tank itself, you can now see underneath, you can see the original grey part, and then you can see the brackets and holding the sides on. To the sides is the end piece here, and at the back all I've done is I've just left it open, so you know there's no seal across there, there's no, but it's you know, it's fairly strong plastic and fairly thick styrene. It's got a little bit of flex to it, but so it will cope with being knocked against stuff without snapping. But that'll do. I mean, I am not going to go to town. It's a WPL kit. It may break the first time I go out with it, so it may just end up being a shelf queen. But you know, I'm going to make it look how I see it in my mind's eye, and even if it doesn't run terribly long before something breaks. Thank you for joining me, and I shall see you next week for more B16. And I won't talk about anything else. I go on long enough as it is, don't I? Yes. Thank you. Good night, and God bless. Don't eat too much chocolate. Good night. Thank you. Bye. Are we there yet?